Welcome, everybody, to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond. I'm an intuitive medium, and I started this channel, Beyond Boundaries, to connect with people and to help really think about things outside the scope, outside the box, outside the boundaries of our cultural perspectives, maybe all the perspectives in which we are used to or we're taught to think. And through this channel, I'd really like to dig deep. I'd like to dig deep into different perspectives, into the different ways in which people think and what drives us as humans, what drives us as women or men and families or development, what drives our spirituality, what drives our perspective, So thank you very much for tuning in. Today is what I like to call Thoughtful Thursday. So on Beyond Boundaries, I am starting 3 themes. Okay, so Tuesdays is Tarot Tuesdays. Tune in on Tuesday, and I pull cards and really connect with my spiritual guidance, my team, to bring through really intuitive readings using cards every Tuesday. And then Thursdays, I'm doing this Thoughtful Thursday, and it's kind of formatted like a podcast on my own or with interviews. I want to bring different perspectives on so that we can tune in and see different perspectives. Maybe some buzzwords that's going on lately, like I want to talk about the Schumann resonance. I want to talk about all things spirit and spirituality, maybe bunking some of the things that we might be really hesitant about or perspectives that you're not really sure about. I'd also like to really get people on here to be able to ask them and so that I can expand my mind, so that I can think outside the box and outside the boundaries of what has been brought forward in my perspective as well. So I really hope that we can bring on some really great topics and that it can be really thought-provoking. Thoughtful Thursday is like a thought-provoking day, so that I want to be able to bring things forward to make you go, that's really interesting. I never thought about it that way. Or I have never heard that concept. Or I've heard that concept, but had no idea what it meant. And sometimes I just want to come on and visit and be able to just have a coffee and be able to bring on a perspective to connect with all of you. And so if there's anything that you want to talk about or you want me to bring forward within channeling my guides, any intuitive knowledge, any spirit-based perspective that you might not be sure about, throw it in the comments below, because I would love to talk about it and to bring some of this unknown forward so that people can, it doesn't seem like it's such a foreign concept, right? And the more that we learn, the more that we can grow from understanding different perspectives, the more that our perception grows, and therefore our ability to have more compassion for people grows. Our ability to connect with people grows, because it's not just so focused on what we think, what we were taught, what we know, and all of a sudden we have this expansive perspective because we're learning. Even lots of times we're learning about the things that we never thought in a million years we would want to know about or we would learn about, whether it's a different perspective within a religious belief, whether it's a different political belief. Heaven forbid, we might step out of our political perspective and listen to somebody else's perspective without duality and anger and trying to separate me from you, this duality perspective. My goal is to bring unity, oneness, so that as human beings, we can live in a world, in a civilization, in a society that we can actually feel proud of and not associate ourselves with the duality that is enforced since we're born. That's my perspective. I really feel like we insert in the culture in which I was raised, I have to say, North American culture, we're raised by a perspective, and it's no blame. I'm not blaming. I'm saying that the perspective is very much trained in us to believe a certain way, that we're born to do this, to behave this way, to achieve this, to produce this. And you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like these blocks that are set out, and it's like, for your own good, you got to follow society's perspective. And really, the deep part of ourselves, we think, yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that, because if we don't, it's almost like our ancestral instincts tells us we have to do that, or else we will get pushed out and then we're not safe. We have to live in survival mode, because if we don't do all these things that we're supposed to do, then we're going to be left out in the cold. We're going to be left out by ourselves, which means essentially, back in the day, that means death. That means non-survival, right? And so coming back to thought-provoking Thursdays is that I want to be able to really push up against some of these perspectives in which our culture, our society has put onto us as a belief system, right? And I'm not trying to really ruffle a lot of feathers by saying you're wrong for believing this. Of course. There's most of our belief systems are put in place for safety, right? And that is dependent on, class, social economic status, gender, ethnicity, all of it. Like, that is such an indicator on what our perspective looks like. And I have a lot of compassion for that, because it's not easy. It's not, there's a small majority that it's easy for. And I think we all know who that small majority is. But the purpose of this isn't to be like, screw the big dogs kind of thing. It's like, let's create a reality for ourselves that works. It doesn't work for me to stay inside a box and say, I have to behave this way, and I have to put my emotional and physical, spiritual needs aside because it makes them uncomfortable. It doesn't work for me that I have to hold my tongue for fear that somebody else's feelings might get hurt. If I live within my moral compass, let's say, where I'm living within a vibrational match of my authentic self, which I believe is in connection to a very high, beautiful oneness of source. If I'm aligned with that, then I'm not going to run around like a crazy person hurting people. No, I'm aligned with my vibrational match of what I perceive as source, right? And so if we allow ourselves the freedom to live within that, then other people's perception of us is none of our business, because it's being played out by old emotional reactions or thoughts or belief systems that aren't ours. But here we are interacting with everybody in this subconscious way, where our belief systems are really pushing up against other people's belief systems, and we're mirroring back and forth these traumas or these barriers or these really limiting beliefs in order to create a reality that feels safe, because that's all we know, right? That might have come out as a lot of mumbo jumbo, but really, like, think about that. If we are all behaving in a way that is based on old beliefs that were given to us from other people's perspectives, and then that is driving us, therefore bringing us into situations that continue to validate that, creating our belief system on those validations, how is it ever going to change? So this is a thought-provoking channel. I want you to come here and be like, hey, I'm going to leave the really heaviness at the door, and I'm going to open my mind, and I'm going to listen to something different. I want to see what other people are thinking. I want to see maybe if there is something else out there that makes me feel Like I have full permission to be exactly who I'm here to be. That's the point. Who are you here to be? Who are you? What do you want? These are big questions, I get it, but that's the kind of stuff I want to explore. That's the kind of stuff I am going to explore. So this week is my kind of intro into Thoughtful Thursdays. So every Thursday, tune in and I want to go over some stuff, whether it's a theme that's kind of hanging around or something that just keeps coming up. I do intuitive readings and I'm a medium and intuitive as well. And so by doing that work, it really has opened my mind to a lot of different perspectives as being raised Catholic, right? No shade on Catholicism at all. It's just it's a different perspective. It's opened my mind to the boundaries in which I was taught based on other people's experiences. So that's just evolution. We're evolving. People are opening their minds to be able to receive new information, which is the point. I think every generation is supposed to be better than the last one. I mean, I have kids and I damn well hope that their generation is better than mine. I hope. I can already see it. They're already better people. So this is a good thing. Like, let's encourage each other to have a different perspective than our own. Let's use this week. If anything comes across in this message, other than just introducing my channel, is if there's something that you're feeling that's rubbing up against you and it keeps coming up as a theme, it's like, oh, why am I here again? It's so that you can stop and take a look at what it's trying to teach you and maybe put away the perspective or the view that it is only your way and it can only be this way. Because if it's continually coming up, chances are there's something there for you to see. So I hope this provokes some thought and some curiosity within you to say, hey, okay, I'm willing. I'm willing to just like open up a little bit and see something else. I'm willing to maybe even acknowledge that the baggage that I'm carrying is getting awfully heavy. And if it's getting awfully heavy, it's probably not yours, because your own energy isn't supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to be fluid. You know, I'm not saying that you don't come into difficulties. Of course you do, but you're projecting your own reality. So if you're holding on to a bunch of other stuff and it's really heavy, chances are you're still carrying loads of things that aren't yours. So maybe do a little inventory. What am I carrying around? Belief system, energy that I'm trying to exert to please other people, the duties that I feel I have to be in order to make somebody else happy or to please them. Like, I get it's nice to make other people happy, but if it's going against the greatness of yourself, against your authentic needs, then it's not actually serving them, and it's sure as heck not serving you. So like, we've got a bunch of little pieces in there. I picked from every branch available to put into this little stew, but it's just because it's kind of like a little, it's a little snippet, a video for you to see what's to come. So I hope that there was even something in there that you could take from and know what the theme of this is, because I'm so excited to do this. I'm so excited to talk to other people about their perspective, and hopefully the goal of this is to be able to connect each other. It's so that we can expand our hearts, our minds, our energy to include the oneness of all, the fluidity of all, and start to release some of the dualities that have been placed upon us, that were given to us, that unconsciously we're like, okay, we'll take that, because if I don't, it doesn't feel safe. Chances are you're a grown-ass adult, and if you're not, you probably shouldn't be watching this, but chances are you're a grown-ass adult, and so you no longer have to go on the script of someone else's play in order for you to survive. You get to make your own. You get to write your own. And everybody that's around you are characters in it. So you get to say, I don't want you in my play anymore. You are bringing down the audience. You're bringing everything down. You're going. Seriously. And I use that lightly, but it's like legitimately true. It's your play. You get to write whatever you want. And I know that seems simplistic, but practice. Just by practicing little things each day, you're going to start to see how that weight is released off of you a little bit, and that you can start to live authentically. And so that is something that has changed my life, is the idea of authenticity and living my path, not based on wounding old scripts, perception of other people's perception of me, which is crazy. Jay Shetty, I'll give him full credit for this one, is that we live off of, the majority of us live off the perception of other people's perception of us. So if we're acting on what we perceive, they're perceiving of us, like chances are it's wrong because we can't possibly know, really. Even if they say it, they're feeling it, and it comes from their experience, not our experience. So there's like, anyway, that's a lot, but like really listen to that and digest that, because that changed my life too. That was like, oh, okay. So much of what I was thinking was perception of other people's perception of me. And it's like, what? This is like blind leading the blind here. Take control. So I hope to see you next week. Jump on and be ready for really great thought-provoking conversations. If there's something that you want to talk about, if there's something that you want me to dive into, please leave it in the comments below. Subscribe, share, like, do all the things. I got Soulful or Spirit Saturday coming up. So every Saturday I'm posting a meditation, breath work, or sound therapy that I do to help nervous system regulation, to help reduce anxiety, help with sleep. So every Saturday will be a little compilation of something to do with connecting to your soul, your spirit. That's every Saturday, so look out for that. And then Tuesdays, like I said, I have Tarot Tuesdays where it's totally led by intuition. I connect with my guides and I bring forward a general reading for that week. And if you're looking to book a session or an intuitive reading with me, I am a medium and I do intuitive life coaching as well. You can jump onto avalonspirit.com. That's where you can book with me under journey guides and experiences, and book on there. The calendar's there, the booking system, everything's there. So I hope to see you soon. Welcome to my channel. I'm so jacked about this. And for all of you out there, I hope that you can release some of the baggage that might be weighing you down and allow yourself to open up to explore maybe a new perspective, even if it's just a little bit lighter. Okay. I love you all very, very much. And until next time.